Evolve your game and get a $100 bonus. Sign up now at TVG.com.
All right, back inside the TVG studios in Los Angeles. Yes, that familiar sight now over my shoulder there. That's California Chrome bidding to become the 12th Triple Crown winner in the history of the Triple Crown, the first since affirmed back in 1978. 36-year gap since we've seen that. We've had a lot of horses in his position thus far, but let's take a look at our daily Chrome watch. Chrome is LL Cool, Gino. How about that? If you're a Belmont Stakes Day coming up in a couple of weeks, LL Cool J going to be performing there. Yeah, it's going to be a big deal. Frank Sinatra Jr., I believe, will also be there, and I'm sure they'll be singing one of the old familiars. New York, New York. That's always the tradition before the Belmont. They sing that. They got away from it a couple of years ago with Alicia Keys' Empire State of Mind, but old Blue Eyes Jr. is going to be performing that number, and Ladies Love Cool James will be performing as well. That's LL Cool J. All right, moving on. Chrome's lucky uniform numbers. Remember, Art Sherman and Victor Espinosa down at the Angels game last night. And the significance of the numbers. There you go. Art and I ready to pitch Angels at Sherman Racing. Post number and the year of his birth for Art Sherman. That's right. Post number. You can't quite see it there in the picture. 3 for Victor, which he was 3 in the Preakness. Yep. They were 5 in the Derby. That's right. And Art Sherman 30. And that was a great game that they were at last night. Jared Weaver pitched all 9 innings. I think he gave up 1 run. It was I think a 2-1 final score. So they were at a really good Angel game. And he signed some baseballs for Mike Scioscia. And we know some of the ground crew down there at Angel Stadium. They're big horse racing fans, big TVG fans. They've come to our set at Del Mar. So that was a popular group of guys down there, the ground crew at Angel Stadium. Well, they're very happy to see. They have the OC connection being at Los Alamitos. Right. They're right there. So a lot of times I'll get frustrated and say, hey, come on, this is Los Angeles. You won the Santa Anita Derby. You're right in Dodger Town here, but they have the Los Alamitos connection. That's why you see he had a big Ducks blanket on last week. Sure. They were big in the OC. The OC sports teams, they love California Chrome. Yeah, come on down to the OC. You'll love it. California Chrome gets stronger as the races get longer. That's according to exercise boy William Delgado this morning after galloping this horse over a muddy racetrack, or galloping over a muddy racetrack at Belmont Park. And this was footage from earlier this morning, courtesy of our friends at the New York Racing Association. And Delgado said, after each race he has gotten much stronger. It's crazy because I've never seen a horse like that. This is Alberto Delgado's brother, the jockey who been the exercise boy. There's Alan Sherman there as well. He said he went the mile and a quarter in the Derby, was being eased at the end. Shows you how fit he is. The fitness is not an issue. The horse is fit enough. You just hope he can get the mile and a half distance. Yeah, it's going to be, and the 3 horses in 5 weeks, 3 races in 5 weeks. That's going to be the concern with a lot of the horses, the Wicked Strongs, Commanding Curves that sat out the Preakness after running well in the Derby. They're going to be fresh and ready to fire a big shot. You're going to have a horse like Tonalist and a couple other new shooters, Commissioner, who ran behind him. So the question is, Simon, is now the time? Personally, what I think and what we've seen, have you as a trainer ever seen a horse get that perfect of a trip for 6 races in a row? Even if you have that style, one race you break slowly, somebody boxes you around, you just don't get where you want to be. Maybe it's meant to be. Maybe it is, and I think those perfect trips had a lot to do with Victor Espinosa personally. I don't think that horse has been handed a perfect trip. Victor Espinosa has guided him into those positions, and he's been a majority of this horse's success for getting him clean runs to the wire. So I think Victor Espinosa, if you look at his past performances, had a lot to do with this success, as well as the 2 turns and the dirt. And they're undefeated since he's been aboard together, 6 for 6. Chrome's Mighty Convoy. How about this? Look, if you're traveling first class, this is the only way to do it. If you're a near Triple Crown winner like California Chrome is, they're going to pull out all the stops. Look at this. Stretch limo. Oh, yeah. And then we're backing off the van as well. Right on Curlin, he got to travel in a main cabin extra, while California Chrome was up the front of the bus traveling first class. That's just how it is, unfortunately. And look at everybody greeting him here there, including some New York Police Department officials there as he made his way to the barn area. Yeah, it's funny. You can kind of see some of his connections, roots, too. One thing that he doesn't do well, he runs so well, he does everything well, he doesn't get on and off the vans very well. He always goes backwards. He's always kind of skittish and a little bit goofy when doing so. I think just because they weren't traveling a whole heck of a lot, he wasn't a horse, and these connections aren't connections that have done so. But Simon Bray, we're going to witness history, whether it's going to be positive history or negative history. We're going to be witnessing history over the next few weeks because it will be one more time where a horse who won the Derby and won the Preakness will take a shot. You and I were both there 2 years ago when All Have Another had a scratch.
Yep, exactly.
On that Friday prior to, and he never even got his shot. We'll hope, and just from the way Chrome has been in the mainstream media, I feel like there's a little bit more buzz this time than we had a few years back. Kind of the rags to riches story.
It's a great story. Art Sherman is part of that story, and the majority of it because of his long association in this game, including having been the exercise rider for Swaps. Remember, California Chrome coming in on an 18-wheeler. You know how Art Sherman did it back in the day? Yeah, in a boxcar on a train. He traveled with Swaps. And there is Alan in the back. He rode all the way from Baltimore, about a 5-hour drive from Maryland with the horse. Look, I've done that a few times. I've flown with horses. I've ridden in the back of a van. We had Cigar at the end of his career. Was honored at Madison Square Garden. We had a private convoy from Belmont Park. They shut down the Lincoln Tunnel. We went the wrong way through the Lincoln Tunnel into Madison Square Garden. So some great scenes there. And look, this horse is going to get all the first-class treatments leading up to Belmont Park as far as facilities, along with the other runners as well. And not only the day that we have there with him, we've got that great undercard as well with the Met Mile, the Acorn, and so many other races as well. So lots to look forward to. Yeah, Ogden Phipps.
Simon, who do you think is his main challenge right now?
I think Tonalist is.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah, I think Tonalist is. I was there for the Peter Pan at Belmont a couple of weeks ago, and that horse looked phenomenal, especially in the mud as well. That was a new dimension for him. He's bred to get like it. He's by Lemon Drop Kib out of a Pleasant Colony mare. He should like the extra distance.
Somebody mentioned a horse like Freedom Child last year who won really impressively. Tonalist is not that kind of a horse. He's not a horse who just relished the mud and was freaky good on it. He was a horse that Christophe Clement was concerned about the mud prior to. Look at his form prior to that last win. He exited the most live prep race of any prep race, and it wasn't even a stakes race. It was an allowance race on the Fountain of Youth undercard at Gulfstream that had horses that won 3 graded stakes next out of that allowance race. So I'm right there with you, Simon. If we don't have a Triple Crown winner, I think the most likely horse to defeat him is Tonalist.
All right, that does it for this edition of Chrome Watch 2014. We'll see you back here next time.